Hello, I'm Anders. I'm the creator of the ISMC mod for Insurgency Sandstorm. Now I work with Affray Interactive developing SCP Pandemic, a tactical shooter in a much more supernatural world. This is one video of a two-part series covering our two main inspirations for SCP Pandemic. In the previous video, our lead writer, Gabriel, covered the story and SCP-related aspects of the game. In this video, we'll be covering the more tactical and gameplay-oriented focus of the game. We hope you enjoyed the video. I honestly love Insurgency Sandstorm. Though it may have had some difficulties on the modding end, it really achieves many great things, and it feels great to play. Unfortunately, we weren't able to work on it forever, and there were some things, sounds and animations mainly, that we were simply unable to do. Now, that is not only possible, but it's being actively developed in the same style and vision in SCP Pandemic. Same goes for the modding. Not only is it planned for SCP Pandemic, but we intend to make it as open and easy as possible. Some of the artists from ISMC have been improving their skills over the last year, and are currently working hard on weapons, environment and character assets for Affray Interactive. John, known as Tempter, Samir, known as Caden, and myself, Anders. The technical director of Affray Interactive, Albarnie, shares a lot of the passions that we had during the creation of the ISMC mod, and has worked on some fantastic gunplay and FPS mechanics, which is just what we wanted to create beyond what we could achieve with the ISMC mod.
I'm Albarnie, the technical director at Affray Interactive. Among other things, I'm responsible for developing the FPS mechanics and animation system that drives the core gameplay for SCP Pandemic. Starting with an incredibly modest budget, we've developed procedural animation systems to carry our animators' work as far as possible, while requiring the minimum amount of animations and setup work. This means many features can be developed once and will work for all weapons, and animations can be laid on top of each other very easily. Some examples of features that come for free with a system like this include reloading while sprinting, ADS, or low ready. I'd like to walk you through the design process for a couple of mechanics that have surfaced throughout the development of SCP Pandemic. An important and often overlooked aspect of gunplay is the on-screen movement of the weapon. The way the weapon moves alone can make a huge difference to the way the game is played, to immersion, and to the grounded feel of the game. Even within the genre of tactical shooters, there's a wide variety of styles of movement, and the way a game approaches this can greatly influence the player's experience. The three games that we're going to be looking at today are Escape from Tarkov, Ready or Not, and Insurgency Sandstorm. We love each of these games, and each approach to the design of these systems is perfectly valid. We're just looking at the pros and cons of each approach, and ultimately what we want to take from that to give SCP Pandemic its own unique experience. Escape from Tarkov and Ready or Not both use movement and rotational sway as a tactic to force players to slow down and be methodical. It helps punish players running and gunning, however, the downside to this is that at times it can feel sluggish or hard to control. Insurgency Sandstorm approaches this trying to be as responsive as possible. This makes controlling the character feel very tight, however it can also serve to encourage players to move faster, which can sometimes take away from the overall tactical experience. Our experiences in similar games informed how we designed our movement and rotation animation systems in SCP Pandemic. We wanted to encourage players to not rush in too much, but also wanted it to feel as responsive and immersive as possible. A while after initial discussions, we were talking with a firearms consultant about balancing attachments in SCP Pandemic's gunplay. We were trying to find a reason that you might want to minimize the attachments selected for your weapons compared to going all out. One of the things that was mentioned was weapon weight and center of mass, and specifically the weight of the muzzle. As you add more mass to the front of your gun, it becomes more difficult to control and slows your ability to make quick adjustments to aim. This reminded me of our earlier discussions and how I felt in regards to certain ways of adding rotational lag, and suddenly we have a new mechanic underway. The current weight system for Pandemic factors in your grip, the weight of your attachments and weapon, alongside player health to calculate how much control you have over the weapon. If the control factor is below a certain threshold, the weapon starts lagging more behind your view and also takes longer to aim down sights.
This is how we like to approach a lot of design choices for SCP Pandemic, to build on ideas from other games in the genre and form decisions for our specific use case. We intend to bring this same approach as we begin to work on future, more advanced mechanics, such as bipods, stage reloads, and more in the future. As for optics, Albarnie has been working on detailed post-process effects to make our scopes look just like real life. Just like other modern games, red dots and holographic sights are also using proper parallax effects to emulate that real-life offset you would get when looking at the reticle and moving the gun around. This also works really well with the weight and sway system. Sometimes your reticle will actually disappear out of the sight picture completely if you have bad weapon control. We have been working on a revamped ballistics system, which better takes into account penetration of different materials, as well as armor piercing, with the goal of having a good balance between weapons designed for flesh or armor damage. An SMG or a shotgun does a very different kind of damage to an armored target when compared to an armor-piercing rifle. With a vast universe of different fleshy targets, exoskeletons, armored humans, this system will be a big part of how you build your loadout. It might be a good idea to have your team bring something well suited for fighting off hordes of soft targets, as well as something powerful and armor-piercing for fighting various SCPs. A proper armor system is something that we always wanted to do in ISMC, but now we finally have a great opportunity to test out and realize those ideas. Weapon customization is also a big focus for us. It needs to be extensive and up to the standards that everyone has grown to expect from a modern FPS game. We will focus mostly on gameplay related upgrades instead of the aesthetics only upgrades we did in ISMC. The customization system is set up to accept community made mods that can change out handguards, stocks, barrel attachments, and so on. This also extends into the modding space. Our future plans are to open this framework fully to modders in order to embrace the full potential of our systems and mechanics. The same system that brings the required animations per gun from dozens down to 5 or 6 will also be invaluable to modders whose focus is to create as much content as possible in projects similar to ISMC. What I enjoy the most about working on a tactical SCP game is that we don't have to make compromises on the tactical gameplay, but rather imagine how modern tactics would be applied in a reality-defying scenario. Say, how would SEAL Team 6 fight off a creature that is impervious to conventional weaponry? Can you fight it, or do you have to contain it, or avoid it altogether?
As a player, you should be able to make tactical decisions with the information you find while facing these SCPs, and be able to apply problem solving and on-the-fly tactical thinking to overcome any situation you find yourself in. Ultimately, our goal is that our game not only allows you to play in this way, but rewards it. Well, that's all we have for this update. We hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe even gained an interesting insight into our design process. There's still a lot to learn here, not just in making our game better, but also in making more videos like these. If you haven't already, feel free to check out the other video in this series, where we cover the writing and storytelling aspects of this game. Ad Astra.